Alright guys, this is the curved letter portion of lettering. So in this particular circumstance, I want you to group together a certain number of letters. Like if you're looking at O, and this is supposed to be Q, C, G, all four of these letters have this one curvature in common that I want you to start practicing. This one curvature that goes pretty much about 3/4 of the way around, starts from about right here and then goes all the way around, ending right there. You can see that in common on Q as well as C as well as G. And O is one of the hardest letters to write aside from S, and we'll get to that. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first stroke you're going to start is either from the middle here or you're going to start from here. Ideally, I want you to start from here and circulate around this way. That's your first stroke. And your second stroke is going to start from here going down that way, and that's going to be your second stroke. Okay? So how it would look is if I start from right where this point is, which would be about 1/, again, this is one of those letters that take all 6 sides. So I'm going to start from here, circulate my hand around this way. Again, this is not going to be perfect. Stop here, and then take my circle from this side, and then circulate around this way. And that's my O. Now, it will get much better as these letters get smaller. That's my first stroke. So that's my first letter. Now, when it comes to Q, again, you could either start from the middle. Ideally, you want to start from here. Circulate around. That's going to be your first stroke. Second stroke's going to go around this way. And then lastly, you're going to complete this as your third stroke. So, in this particular circumstance, we're going to start from exact same point, and I'm going to try to do a better job at drawing this circular object like so. Bring it over, connect that to that, and then the Q starts, the line itself starts from the middle. Imagine it never started, like pretty much started on the square left of it. So if that's the center, it starts from here. And then you just draw straight across like so. And that's your Q. Now, for your C, remember that first stroke that we've been practicing, all trying to get it in one stroke. So you're going to start from this particular point, and you're going to go all the way around and complete the circle. Complete it all in one stroke. Going down that way, first stroke. Let's try to make that happen. Start from right there, and you're going to end right there. Again, this time, we're not going to draw this portion of that circle. So we're going to go all the way from here, going all the way around, touch, touch, boom. That's my C. Okay? Now, moving on to G. Again, we're doing the same first stroke. Okay, so we're going to go around this way. And that's going to be your first stroke. And your second stroke, believe it or not, would start from right there and go around this way. Now, with a lot of practice, you will stop and immediately just pull up and do it as part of your first stroke. But ideally, when you want to start from here, pull this way and go down, and that's going to be your second stroke. Does that make sense? So let's go ahead and try that. Start from here, go all the way around, hit all the right points, stop right where you get to this intersection on the 5th line. Then I'm going to start from the middle, right there, pull this way, and draw a line straight down. And that's my letter G. Okay? For your letter J, this is not a circle. Letter J and U are almost like from the same family. Only thing that's letter J is missing is that one straight line to make letter J a U. So this is part of an ellipsoid, if that makes sense. This is not a perfect circle, or it's a very, very small, tiny, like if you were to complete it, it would complete like this. Now, what I want you to focus on is drawing the straight line down first. 4 grid points, like so. Now you're connecting from here to here, and it's an ellipse. So you're gonna go all the way down, make contact. You're gonna make contact for, the line's gonna stay tangent to this line. Barely gonna skim it, and then come right back up. That's your J. You're gonna do the same thing with the U. U has a starting and an end point. You're gonna end at 4 grid points. 4 grid points, right? You have a start, and so that's your first stroke, your second stroke, and I guess that's your third stroke. So down, always drawing down when you can. In this end, you could start from here, draw down, first stroke, and that's your second stroke. Okay, so complete the curvature, go all the way around, like so. Okay? So that's your U. J and U belong in the same family. O, Q, C, and G belong in the same family. Now D is a standalone. So with the letter D, you're going to draw a straight line. And you want to draw about 2 grid points over. And you're going to stop there. And you're going to extend all the way out to the 5th grid point to the middle. Now I'd like to imagine a pentagon with almost a curvature that goes all the way around. So imagine this is a pentagon, a 5-sided shape, but this time you're actually just creating a curvature there, making sure you make contact there, and making sure you make contact there. So that's your letter D. Pretty simple. Now P, R, B. P, R, B are all from the same family, and you'll see when we draw these vertical lines. So it's always going to be, the first line is always going to be straight, all 6 points, all 6 grid points. Then you're going to go 3 over. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Now I want you to imagine on the 5th point, right in the middle of the 1.5, is where you will intersect with a semicircle. And this semicircle starts from here, goes around this way, goes around that way. So in terms of stroke, again, this was, the first one is down, 2, 3, 4. Same thing here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Draw the curve last. Again, R, first stroke straight down. That's your first stroke. Second stroke, straight across. We're going to go 3 over, 3 over. Again, imagine a midpoint between the two, between the 3 grid points, so about at 1.5 down, where you're going to intersect, and on the 5th grid point, and you're going to just draw that curvature. Now your kickstand literally starts from right there where you stopped at the 3rd grid point, pretty much dead center of the entire square, and it's going to go extend out to the 5th grid line. So it's going to go from there to there. So that's your letter R. Now the letter B, you're drawing straight down, and you're going to draw 3 over, 3 over, and 3 over. Now this is how I will be grading your letter B. The letter B here up top is about 4.5 squares. Right around there is where you will intersect, And this will be about five squares over. And you're gonna go to the midpoint both times. So the letter B is bottom heavy. It's gonna go out further on the bottom than it will up top. So your letter B would look like this. Again, the top is less heavy than the bottom, so the bottom actually sticks out. So again, first stroke, straight down. Second stroke, straight across, 3 squares. Third stroke, straight across, 3 squares. Fourth stroke, straight across. Fifth is where you actually end up doing the bottom, and then ideally you want to do the sixth stroke as this curvature here. Okay, so again, first, second, third, fourth, because I like to do that curve, and then fifth. And finally we get to S. Now, I like to tackle S with 2 strokes. It can be done and subdivided into 3 strokes, but the more you subdivide, the less continuous it looks. So again, I like to imagine a curve just like I would draw for a circle. And I would go from here and I would stop short. And right here, it's almost like I was drawing a circle or a G or something that I was trying to draw where I will connect all the way down. But I changed my mind and I start going horizontal. Right around the midpoint, right above the midpoint is where I start going horizontal. Ideally, you don't want to stay here for too long and kind of like a roller coaster ride, and you just swing the entire thing around. Now, it will end by touching the second grid point here. Second grid point from the bottom. So you want to swing this around again, and it behaves like an ellipsoid of a J or a U on the bottom here. Just like you were drawing for the U, this is what you're going to draw all the way on the bottom, just skimming it and making contact there. And that's an S. So demonstrating curved letters in writing here to demonstrate octagon. Again, if I'm drawing an O, I'm going to start from here, go all the way around, connect that way. C, T, that's your straight letters. A, G, O, and N. Again, this is 5 lines. So that's what you're going to be writing twice. And with that said, if you have any questions, I'll be available in class.